Hey guys, Dr. Frank here, founder of the Addiction Mindset program. You may recognize me from TikTok at Doc Frank here or our Instagram channel, Addiction Mindset. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you briefly about quitting nicotine and either quitting cold turkey or weaning off slowly. So let me start with my personal story. When I quit nicotine, the only way that worked for me was going cold turkey. I joke around and say I tried 9 years to quit. Many of those 9 years were spent going slowly and weaning off. It never worked for me. So why do I prefer quitting nicotine cold turkey? There's a little bit of science behind it. Every time you use a nicotine-containing product, your brain develops more nicotine receptors. These receptors in your brain are always hungry for more and more nicotine. So if you're weaning off slowly and you're continuing to feed these receptors, those cravings are still going to remain. We'll talk about, yes, of course they are dying when you're weaning off slowly, but not as quickly as when you go cold turkey. When you quit nicotine cold turkey, you start killing those nicotine receptors day one. Now, it takes a total of about 12 weeks for most of the excess nicotine receptors to die off, which is about 90 days or 3 months. That's why in most of my content, you guys hear me saying you just have to make it to that 90-day mark, make it to that 3-month mark. That's a pretty good standard to hold yourself accountable to when it comes to quitting. And remember, during those 90 days, your mood might be a little off. Your feelings might be a bit off. How you feel physically may be different. Remember, there's nicotine receptors in your brain. They're alive and they're hungry. So going cold turkey starts to kill those quickly. I also enjoyed going cold turkey because it was the easiest way for me to break my habits. So I used to chew tobacco. I would chew tobacco in the car. I would chew tobacco after a long, stressful day. I would chew tobacco when the weather was nice and I could go outside and go fishing. I would chew tobacco when the weather was crappy and it was just a rainy day and I wanted to chill and watch Netflix. Didn't matter the setting. So for me, immediately breaking each of my associations and activities to their connection to chewing tobacco was vital in my success. I couldn't do it weaning off slowly. It never worked for me. So another reason why I like going cold turkey is because you have to experience the withdrawals. Yes, this is a downside to quitting cold turkey. The withdrawals tend to be a little bit more intense. Yes, the headache, maybe the chills, feeling like you have the flu. I had some numbness and tingling in my hands occurring when I quit. Again, just you didn't feel very good at first. Sweating, insomnia. I preferred to feel all of these withdrawals and mentally tell myself that I just had to get through them. I believe at the end of the day, it made me a tougher, stronger person. And I would tell myself every day I started to feel the withdrawal, I would say, Frank, this is just another withdrawal symptom. Remember how shitty this feels. You don't ever want to have to go through this again. And that really, really helped me stay off of this stuff long term. Now, there are advantages when it comes to weaning off slowly. Some of those advantages include, yes, the withdrawals may not be as bad. Yes, you may not have some of the mood swings, the mental health risks when it comes to depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. But remember, if you're going to go the route of weaning off slowly, you have two main options. From a traditional medical standpoint, that option is going to include using Nicorette gum, nicotine patches, or some other form of nicotine replacement therapy. Now, I have nothing against this, and millions of people have successfully quit going this route. In my opinion, though, you're still feeding that nicotine addiction, especially for those of you who are adolescent age, under the age of 25, let's say. Nicotine in and of itself is damaging the brain. Nicotine in and of itself is my concern. It's not so much the health consequences of cigarettes, e-cigarettes, vaping, whatever it is. The nicotine and the addiction it creates and what it does to the brain is my focus. So no matter how you're getting it, I don't like it. But that's most commonly a medical approach, just weaning off with a nicotine replacement therapy. For many it works, and for you it may be necessary. Not my favorite way of going about it. Now, what I recommend doing if you're going off slowly is this. Stick with whatever it is you're doing. So let's say you're addicted to Juul. Stick with using Juul, but start to limit the places, the times, the people, the frequency of use. Start to pay attention to how many puffs you're taking a day. Start to wean off slowly. Maybe you no longer use it in your car. Maybe you no longer use it in your house. Maybe you no longer use it in school. Whatever it is, start to limit your use. Limit the days, limit the hours, limit the times. And no matter what you're doing, whether you're weaning off slowly that way or using a nicotine replacement therapy, be sure to have a definite end date. This addiction has to come to an end eventually. And unless you put a pen to paper and pick a definite end date, I think you're going to have a really, really hard time quitting one of those weaning off slowly methods successfully. I like doing it the way that I talked about, cold turkey. Again, if your next best option, in my opinion, is sticking with the product that you're already addicted to, start to wean off of that slowly over time, pick an end date, or my least favorite option, switching to a nicotine replacement therapy. I understand the benefits, I get it, but I hate to see people trade one addiction for another. I tried with Nicorette gum, I really did. Two things, Nicorette gum has a ton of side effects, you should go read about them. I wound up getting splitting headaches from something called trigeminal neuralgia. It was nerve pain traveling across my face. That's problem number one, there are side effects. Number two is I hate to see someone trade one addiction for another addiction, which happens all the time when it comes to nicotine replacement therapy. Again, if you are quitting, try and work with someone who's experienced and knows what they're doing. Our website is below. I do offer one-on-one coaching for people, addiction recovery coaching, and keep following along. I give you guys tons of great free content. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to talk about THC and whether you should go off of THC slowly or if you should go cold turkey. I'll give you a tip. Go cold turkey. It's much easier than nicotine. Have a great day, guys.